Yo, welcome back to another episode of Bitch, I Got My Pots. Your boy Trick Daddy Dollar representing for the 50 year of hip hop reunion. Yeah, it's been 50 years since hip hop. And I remember about 25 years ago when they was talking about hip hop, it didn't include the South. Yeah, even though you couldn't go nowhere in the South and couldn't hear East Coast or West Coast music, they forgot all about us. They thought we were some country bunkies. They thought all we know how to do was sell drugs and sling guns. They didn't respect us for hip hop. But thanks to people like Luke and Jermaine Dupri and Jay Prince and all them other boys over there at Suave House, and thanks to people like Disco Rick and the Dolls and 8-Ball MJG and the Ghetto Boys, and thanks to people like the Miami Boys, and thanks to people like Griselda Blanco, who brought that cocaine to Miami and made it possible for us to do independent record labels and stuff like that. Now, I know this is usually a cooking show, but I always talk about real stuff. Today, I'm gonna do something that a lot of people are not gonna like. I don't know why, because your mammy and your grandmammy grew up on it. Yeah, I'm sauteing some pork chops for all you bougie folk who believe that pork ain't good for you. Ain't nothing good for you. And if you got somebody that's in your family that does something that you don't do, as long as it don't affect you, don't look down on them. Because everybody does something. You know, and I'm a representative. I represent Dade County, Miami-Dade County 305 to the fullest. I'm talking about Marlins, Hurricane, Heat, Dolphins. I'm talking about everything. And I am the CEO and president and founder of the Eat a Booty Gang. So if it ever come to the time where you don't like something about South Florida, holler at your boy. I'll get your mind right. We're gonna talk a lot of shit today. We're gonna do some cooking and some eating. I got a wonderful guest for y'all, as usual. We're gonna talk some real stuff. And my most important part of the day is called Unpopular Opinion. Y'all keep it locked right here to the Bitch, I Got My Pots. I got my pots.
I'm Tamara, and this is another Top 5 on Trick Daddy's Bitch, I Got My Pot. This artist has been breaking records on tour this summer that has grossed $780 million and is expected to take home $305 million according to Forbes. That's almost $1 billion right there, and is on the way to break another record with her tour live in theaters. From heartbreak tunes to pop, she's not the one or the two to play with, because she will write a song about you. With that being said, here's the top 5 highest selling Taylor Swift albums of all time in the United States. Number 5, Speak Now. It was released on October 25th, 2010, and it went 6 times platinum on December 11th, 2017. And Taylor was speaking loud and proud on this third studio album, where she exposed a few of her exes, addressed rumors, and threw shade at the new girl that replaced her all by herself. Yes, she wrote this entire album by herself and did not hold back, releasing fan favorites such as Long Live, where she talked about her journey through music, Innocent, addressing Kanye West after the infamous "I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos" interruption at the VMAs. And a few goodies that are a shot at his ex Joe Jonas and at the time girlfriend Camilla Bell, Adam Young, and John Mayers. Woo, that girl's pen is shady. I like it. Number 4, Red. It was released on October 22nd, 2012, and it went 7 times platinum on July 23rd, 2018. This album is covered in drama, so much that she actually went back in the studio to re-record it and renamed it Red, Taylor's version. This is because, let me give you the short version, according to CNET.com. The majority of the time, musicians don't own their music. A lot of the times, the record company that signs the musician owns the masters, which is the original recording of the song. This happened to Swift, who signed with Big Machine label group headed by Scott Buccello. In 2019, Scooter Braun brought Big Machine label group, and in that sale gained the right to Swift's first 6 albums. And because of their toxic relationship, Taylor wasn't able to buy back her backlog. So, instead, she sneakily re-recorded her earlier music and released it the way she wanted to, hence the name Taylor's Version. And in the song Trouble, she talked about going after the bad boy and not caring about his reputation. Number 3, Taylor Swift. It was released on October 24, 2006, and it went 7 times platinum December 11, 2017. And her debut self-titled album is one for the books. At just 16, she released this country pop style work that contains hits such as Teardrops on My Guitar, Tim McGraw, Our Song, and Pictures to Burn. Time to shake it off with number 2, 1989. It was released on October 27th, 2014, and it went 9 times platinum on December 11th, 2017. And let's take a moment to analyze Blank Space, as that is the most played track on this album. This song was satire at her reputation for having short-lived romantic relationships and writing songs about her past lovers when it is over. She says in the song, I got a long list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane, but I got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. Meaning, no matter what you heard about me, let's get it on. And in the song Shake It Off, she also jokingly said, I can't keep a man, so on to the next. And we've seen it clear as day last week when she was seen at one of Travis Kelce's games next to his mom. Child, she moves fast. She just like me. And this album was a blemish to her once wholesome girl next door image. Now, number 1 is in my core memory for one iconic song on the album, but we'll get into that in a few. Here's Fearless. It was released on November 11th, 2008, and it went diamond on December 11th, 2017. And You Belong With Me gives very much, that's my motherfucking man energy, as she tells the girl that not only are you not the girl for him, and I am, but you don't even make him happy. Hell, she's even seen in the video making sublet hits at him, showing him that, hey, I'm right here in front of you, I'm the girl for you. Well, that pick Misha did end up getting the guy in the end, so I guess being thirsty does work sometimes. And remember, this list is not an opinion. It is based on album sales in the United States. Facts. Courtesy of the RIAA. What artists would you like to see in the top 5 next week? Jump in the comments and tell us. Either way, I'm Tamara, and this has been another Top 5 on Trick Daddy's Bitch I Got My Pots.
Yo, welcome back to Bitch I Got My Pots. Your boy Trick Daddy Dollar repping that Tray 05. That's right. And today, I'm cooking the same thing we all grew up on. And I learned a lot. Actually, they got museums, Black American history museums in the South, in particular Alabama, and you learn a lot. And out of all the things that was done to us during those hard times, one thing I do appreciate, I appreciate the fact that they thought that they was giving us the bad parts of the pig. No, they wasn't, baby. All the throwaway parts, this is my best part. I'm talking about the pig feet, the hog maw, the pig tail, the pig ears. Them is the best part. Then as I grow up, I got bougie, started wanting the pork chop. And not any kind of pork chop. Of course, I'm gonna need the end cut pork chops. Those are the better ones. And so what I'm cooking today, my guest today, he suggested me that he was on a keto diet. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. When you first said it, I thought he said kilo. And it kind of scared me because I didn't want to relapse. But he was on a keto diet. So I'm gonna make sure I give him fresh vegetables. But he gonna get this work. He gonna get these pork chops. Speaking of diets and cooking and food, Y'all remember back in the days when you woke up on Christmas, starting Christmas Eve, and your whole house smelled like cinnamon and smelled like sweet potato pies and smelled like collard greens. Y'all grandmas and you mothers doing a terrible job these days. Y'all got 3, 4 baby daddy, you sending your children, you separate your children, sending them all over the world. Family ain't praying together no more. And we already know a family that prays together stays together. And for y'all who don't remember, there's certain holidays that people in the black community always bonded. The top 4 were Independence Day, what we call the 4th. We call it the 4th of the 4th of July. Then there was Easter. Something important supposed to happen on Easter. I don't remember exactly what it was. I stopped going to church a long time ago. I stopped going to church a long time ago when I read different Bibles and I learned that, you know, God is in your heart. I respect the church to the utmost, but I just don't belong to a church. Plus, a lot of pastors I know, they got yachts and cruise lines, but that's a whole nother story altogether. The next holiday is Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving and Christmas are the most sacred holidays to me because I remember waking up, going to sleep early on Christmas Eve and waking up at 12:05 a.m. and 12:10 a.m. and opening your small toys and playing your video games or whatever it was. What happened to those traditions, people? What happened to the Christmas list and then you pick the stuff off the list based on what you think your child deserves, based on what you think that your child worked hard for, based on what you think your budget could afford? What happened to that? And right before that was Thanksgiving, where the ham, the turkey, 2 kinds of beans, 3 kinds of rice, all led by prayer. For you unfit family members, unfit mothers or fathers, I got a PSA for y'all. And don't never, ever say I ain't never told you nothing, showed you nothing, or learned you nothing. Thanksgiving come every last Thursday of every November for the rest of your life. And Christmas is the 25th of December for the rest of the world. Every year around the same time, we have those same holidays. If you have kids, be prepared to be a mother or a father. When you become a mother or a father, be prepared to become a grandmother, and so on. A granddaddy, and so on. You know God will take your blessing away from them if you don't use them on yourself. And everybody that's kin to you ain't family. But holidays are very important. I encourage y'all to spend your holidays with your loved ones. No matter what religion, what race, what color, what minority, what city you live in, what state you live in, what country, what continent you live on. Spend your holidays with your families. And if you got family members that you love and they're healthy and well right now, tell them you love them and tell them Trick Daddy sent you. Y'all stay tuned, I'll be right back. The bitch, I got my pots. Yo, welcome back to another episode of Bitch, I Got My Pots. Your boy Trick Daddy Dollar representing that tray on fire till I die. And today, I got a special guest for y'all. Now, when I first heard the dude's name, I didn't know he was a car dealer, a manufacturer. I didn't know what was going on. I later found out that he was a nudist. Not only is he a nudist, because he like walk around with his shirt off all the time. Titties bigger than my mama's. But that don't make you who you are. But the dude is a writer, a producer, an actor, and a comedian. That's a lot of things to be, you know. I was a lot of things too. I was an ex-convict, a drug dealer, drug user, a robber, a thug. I was all those things too. So I understand the lifestyle he came for. Y'all help me, give him a warm welcome and help me welcome my next guest, Bert Kreischer. And I said his name right.
Wow.
I know that a lot of people say your name wrong.
No one says my name right.
I know a lot of people say your name wrong. I know a lot of people say your name.
I had money with my buddy that you were gonna, I was like, it's gonna be bad, but that was perfect.
No, I practiced that.
Oh.
I practiced it like 5 minutes.
Brother, you have no idea what a treat this is for me.
Hey, man.
I'm such a fan of yours. You know how life sometimes, like you can mark periods in your life by either when you meet a chick or when you buy a new car.
Right.
Or when an album comes out. So Thug Holiday came out the week I met my wife and bought a Yukon Denali. That and Scarface's The Fix came out all around the same time. You define my relationship with my wife. Like that reminds me so much of great memories.
I appreciate it. You know what? Because you know we celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
I just watched, I went to a jazz fest and watched DJ Jazzy Jeff do like a mix up with Rakim. It was amazing.
And you're from the South. You're from Florida, actually.
I'm from Florida hardcore. Like when you went through and you talked about the South didn't get the same respect.
Right.
When you said Suave House, I went, man, people sleep on how great Suave House was.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Draper, MGJ and 8 Ball.
Yeah.
That is, Space Age Pimpin' is one of my, that reminds me of college.
Now, I always do this unpopular opinion thing. And Space Age Pimpin' would be in my top 10, but right now what I'm gonna do is my top 5 rappers.
Okay.
Now there's some names. Before I say something bad about a person, I won't even mention them.
Okay.
So there's some names that get mentioned when they talk about the best rappers ever and the best rappers alive. If I don't like them, I won't mention them. So my top 5 rappers, in no particular order. I'm gonna go, then you can go.
Oh, okay, I'm like it.
Okay, Tupac.
Oh, yeah.
Biggie.
Yes.
DMX.
Ooh, yeah.
Brad Jordan, also known as Mr. Scarface.
Oh my God.
And last but not least, Ice Cube.
Dude, I think the casual public forgets that Ice Cube, everyone thinks NWA changed the game. It's Eazy-E's first album that changed the game.
And I tell him Eazy-E was actually a gangster. Ice Cube was like rappers and Ice Cube was the schoolboys that was smart, but Eazy changed the game.
Yeah, I played it for my daughters and they're just sitting there. And they had the same feeling I had when I heard it in 9th grade in New Smyrna Beach in the back of a Jetta, smoking Marlboro Reds. And then they were like, you gotta listen to this. And we just sat back like, we're ready to fight somebody. Like it was just that energy. And Ice Cube wrote that whole album.
And I found that out later. But when Ice Cube wrote it, he was writing for the Eazy-E he knew.
Yeah.
And it was easier. It was easier at the time. A lot of these new rappers, they cool, I respect them for getting their money and all. I never disrespect the game, so if you can rap and make music and make money off of it, I pay you the utmost respect.
I say the same with stand-up. If you can sell tickets, you got my respect. It's hard to sell a ticket to someone. For someone to say, I'm gonna dress up, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna spend a little extra, take me and my girl out, man, I respect anyone who can sell a ticket. But I would argue you're in that top 5. In my opinion, your albums, all of them are bangers, bangers. They give you an energy because I think the South, I think Miami in general gets slept on. Here's why, and tell me what you think about this. Because New York rappers get a little heads up, they get almost a little jump because New York hip hop was meant for headsets.
Right.
Our hip hop was meant for a car. Our hip hop's only good if the car next to you likes it.
The original, we originated the 808 drum.
I said that in the car. The 808 kick drum is us. That is us. And I'll tell you, Uncle Luke, I ran into him in Miami one time, and I lost my shit. I was like, dude, he changed the game. Where were you the day you heard 2 Live Crew for the first time? Do you remember?
I can remember that. Heard 2 Live Crew for the first time in the 4th grade. Oh. When I knew who they were. The song came on, it was like somebody getting slapped, like, whoa! Ah! Oh! And then the lady said, listen to all you motherfuckers. I was like, turn that up. And the song was called S&M.
I remember that song.
And I was like, man, who is that? They was like, and Luke is out the same project as me, out of the Poker Bean Project.
Yeah.
It was like, he out the beans, that's Luke. And what Luke did that really made me that inspired me, first of all, he gave me my first start.
Yeah.
First record I ever did, Scar, was on the Uncle Luke's album, okay? Thanks to Luke. But what Luke did, he showed me. He went and got Brother Marquise out of New York, Fresh Kid Ice, and Chris 11 out of Cali, and brought him to Miami and added some Miami bass behind him, put him on some jackets, and got very, very nasty as they want to be. Add that to the fact he fought the Supreme Court when Nick Navarro was in Broward County trying to ban rap music. And a lot of people don't know, Luke invented the censorship sticker on the records when it said explicit, 21 and older.
Yeah.
Not for minors. He invented that.
I don't think they knew that little sticker sold so many albums. I won't buy. I bought what was I got the one Let's Go. Your Let's Go.
Oh, Let's
and
Go.
I got the one that doesn't have the print. It's the clean version.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to go. Like I just go, I had actually argued you invented the phrase "Let's go." Let's go is all white boys say. If they throw a credit card across the room and it lands in a like when they do those little trick shots, they come for you. Let's go, let's go.
And you know what's crazy is, Let's Go came off the Third Matrimony album.
Yeah. My
fastest platinum selling album. Actually, I went on a promo tour, but before I got back, the album was platinum. I didn't know I was famous or nothing at the time, but I knew what was necessary. I knew what we needed in the South. And after them letting me on radio with the Now record with Trina, after them accepting me, I feel like we could have did anything we wanted to do. I said we could say anything we wanted to say. And some of my biggest records like Take It to the House and Sugar and Shut Up, those are not my favorite records, but those are my bigger records because unlike other people, I know what is necessary. Now, as a comedian, how do you know what is necessary when you got censorships now?
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell black and white jokes too hard, they'll say you're a racist. Then you had the writers go on strike last year.
Yeah.
Fuck the whole game up.
Yeah.
You had some people writing their own corny ass shit. And one more unpopular opinion, you might not agree with me, but I'm gonna tell you this. I don't hardly tell people this. I am a very, very peculiar ear and eyes for you to please. I come from Miami. If you stood on stage in Miami and if you was a comedian, you better get up there and tell your best shit.
Yeah.
If you was a rapper, get up there and sing your hit record and get your ass off the stage. Yeah. They will boo you. And I don't think the Martin show was as good as people think it was.
Really?
I think Martin, I don't think it was funny. I think shows like WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, wow.
See, I'm a weird dude.
Yeah.
I like Laverne and Shirley. That was a spinoff of Happy Days.
Yeah.
I like the Jeffersons. That was a spinoff of All in the Family.
Yeah.
I watch real TV. I don't even like a lot of the wrestling characters. I respect wrestling, the sport. I love it. But when these dudes come and do all this other stuff and all this talking and selling out, I come from Dusty Rhodes and Black Jack Mulligan and Sweet Brown Sugar Days, Junkyard Dog and
Chief Wahoo McDaniels.
Chief Wahoo McDaniels, Purple Haze. I come from the era where the Fabulous Freebirds and the Four Horsemen, where where Running Roddy Piper take you in the pit and act like you interviewing and bust you across your head in the chair, the blood skeet everywhere. I'm not used to the dudes that's more concerned about their Speedos.
Yeah. Well, we grew up in Florida, and Florida wrestling was really big. People forget, just like we talk about South hip hop, people think Florida that wrestling's the WWE out of Minnesota. No. It's not, man. Florida was thick. That's where Hulk Hogan was from, Paul Orndorff. Every great wrestler came out of Florida. And we had access as children. Did you ever go to a live wrestling event as a kid?
Listen, that's what I'm telling you. If you on the first 3 rows, you might get some spit.
You get sweat, spit, blood. Yeah.
That's the wrestling I'm talking about.
I think our sensibility is similar because of where we grew up.
Right.
And I think the older people we grew up around, like I still to this day love smoking cigars. And people go, really? And I go, well, I grew up in Tampa. Like for me, cafe con leche with a cigar is how I'd see men behave.
Right.
Like old Cuban men.
And they don't know that your home is original mob town.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
They don't know that.
Traficante. That's who. Edit that name out. I don't want to start beef with the mafia, but that's who they say killed Kennedy. Is the old Florida mob.
I've been watching mafia documentaries.
Me too.
All week, and I seen that because Kennedy flipped the script on them boys.
Yeah.
He told them, yeah, we got your back and this and that. And it was time, he went at him.
Yeah. His brother too, and he was like, yo, his dad worked with all those guys. They were running alcohol during Prohibition. Right. And then all of a sudden they're like, our guy's in office, we got this. And then he was like,
you no more.
We don't, yeah, man,
and
that's
to
crazy.
this day, they still make money off of all liquor that's being sold.
Yeah. You know what I got really into lately is documentaries on Florida and Flagler and HB Plant and all those old guys and the Seminole tribe and the Seminole Wars.
And me too. You know what? I just recently told some young bucks that Miami, Metro-Dade, Pollen, and Miami-Dade County is Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. They never knew that.
Well, I've heard you say before, once you get on the bus going to prison, Miami-Dade and Broward is the same place.
Same place. It's the same place. Because you're leaving from South Florida.
Yeah.
And it's the same place. Then when they take you up in the Panhandle, where all the racist rednecks are that got ran from South Florida during the riots in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
They were up there waiting for you to come up there.
Yeah.
And you have to stick together or they'll demolish you.
Yeah, people forget Florida's like 3 different states. You got Central Florida, you got South Florida, and then you got the Panhandle.
Right.
And I'm gonna take a stab at something that's a little bigger than my brain, but you have to remember, so slavery wasn't all over Florida.
No.
It was in North Florida, and it was mostly because of the terrain. They got the same kind of like soil as they do in Georgia. Over in Jacksonville, they have different soil. St. Augustine has different soil, and down south, it was different soil. So it didn't work the same.
It didn't work the same.
So racism's different based on our soil.
They had more crop than cotton.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the bottom line.
Man, I'm telling you, we should do a documentary. We should do a podcast just about Florida.
Whatever you need to do. But this is what I want to talk about, because I got you something. The machine. I bought you a bottle of liquor.
Look at that.
It's called Tommy Gunn's Vodka, shaped like a machine gun. So all the stories that I hear, all the stories about Russia and the things that went on in your life, are any of those stories halfway true, allegedly?
So I have a story that's went viral. I made a movie on it called The Machine. I got involved with the Russian Mafia when I was 22 and we robbed a train. And the reason that story went viral, because I told it on Rogan, I think people thought it's a great story. It's funny, it probably didn't happen, but it's a good story.
Right.
And then what happened is I posted it on Facebook, and a girl from my class just commented. It was like the first comment. She goes, I was in Bert's Russian class. I was on this trip. This story's 100% true. He fucking robbed us. And then all of a sudden the story went viral. And then she started posting pictures of me with the mafia, me arm wrestling one of the gangsters. And so yes, 100% true. You know, I got to be honest with you. The best stories are ones you forget that you go, oh yeah, that happened. And I was doing Love Line with Dr. Drew, and one of my classmates called in. This is like 20 years ago. And they're like, hey, why don't you tell the story about when you robbed us on a train? And I just real casually was like, oh yeah, I robbed train with the mafia in Russia, and he was like, what? And so then it kind of took off from there.
And that's like been the backdrop of your life.
Yeah.
And now you're a successful comedian.
Yep.
You produce movies.
Yes.
You're a writer.
Yes.
And an actor.
Yes.
Now, how do you get to the point where I have to watch what I say? Do you care about watching what you say?
Well, I kind of regret the slavery comments I made earlier, but yeah, I watch what I say. My problem is I get excited, I get comfortable, and I'll tell you anything. I also think that if people know where your heart's coming from,
right,
then they get it. Look, I got nightmare stories about performing in Miami. Back when I was like trying to fit in, I do the Miami Improv down in Coconut Grove. And they would just, I remember there was a Dominican guy in the front row, and he was going like this. And I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm gonna beat you with a baseball bat. And I go, oh, you must be Dominican. And he didn't laugh. But then also, I then just go, it was a very diverse crowd. And when I say diverse, I think I was one of the only English-speaking people in there. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I go, I want a dude with gold fronts, thugged out. You gotta know Trick Daddy personally up on stage. I want someone from Liberty City. So I get this black guy on stage. I go, all right, I want the most Cuban dude. I'm talking socks and sandals, get up here. And so he gets up there. So I bring 3 seats and a bottle of tequila. I go, gentlemen, my name's Bert Kreischer. That sounds like a hate crime in this room. So I'm just gonna tell my joke and you translate it to your people. So I go, I was talking to a girl, and the Cuban guy just says it in Spanish with a little whistle, and the room goes crazy. Black dude goes, can a player get some conversation? And the room explodes. And I went, fuck it, this is my show. And so I go like, you know how to eat a chick's pussy? And then they just do it was the fucking, but that's Miami, that's Florida. You gotta be able to improv, go off the top, and have fun with it. Yeah. Because if you go up structured like a nerd, they see it, they sense it. It's like walking into prison. I've never been to prison, so I won't even finish this analogy. But like, but they have to know that you can flow with it. I mean, I watched a dude get stabbed in the Miami Improv.
Let me tell you something, the improv.
You know, I've been keto for like 70 days.
I guess I'm keto but only 15 minutes, because that's about how long we got. But after that, I'm turning back. So I'm gonna take it, you only want asparagus and mushrooms.
That's all I want.
Okay.
No pork for you?
No pork.
No,
we got some Opalaka water for you.
Okalaka water?
Opalaka.
Oh, this is your water?
Yeah. Straight out of canals of Opalaka.
Hey, can I ask you a weird question?
No, you can ask me any question. It'll never be as weird as you think I'll take it.
What's up with Money Mark? Do you remember Money Mark?
Money Mark, his best friend.
For real?
No, Money Mark, we love Money Mark. Money Mark is in Atlanta now. He got him a good job. And it was crazy you asked me that, because me and Money Mark fell out for a few years, and we just talked, and I had a man-to-man conversation. Money Mark was on all my albums. If you're a real Trick Daddy fan, you would know Money Mark. That's why you asked me
Money
about
M to the Izzy, R to the Kizzy.
Okay.
Come through Chocombaca, don't blizzy.
That's that part right there.
Money Mark has some great cameos. He was like, do you remember Tupac had Big Sykes? Big Sykes. Big Sykes had some great.
Yeah, and that's what I did. What I did with my career, I never forgot.
You had some great songs where you would put on other people, and I would argue you would leverage some of your best beats and put on talent and introduce us to people. I would say this, and I'm gonna say it, and I'll stamp it. You introduced the world to CeeLo Green. Now, hold on. Everyone knows how great Goody Mob is, right. And you could argue that Outkast did it first. However, you changed his career, because In the Wind, when he came out, that was all of a sudden you're like, wait, that's CeeLo Green. And then he gets on TV. And then he starts wearing the crazy outfits with the Sprite commercials. But I'll tell you, In the Wind, I was like, whoa, shit, CeeLo Green's good.
Wow. Right. And you know what's crazy? And that's what I was saying. What I did, and a lot of people don't do, I watched the Dungeon family. I watched them lean on each other like, come on, come go with me. I watched NWA. I watched even when Tupac did the All Eyes on Me album, everybody on Death Row had 2 to 3 features on that double album.
God.
And what we did, what we did that made it even better is this. If I liked it and I feel like you fed on that song, First of all, I never went and got the hottest feature. I never went and got no features that you never expected me to go get.
Yeah.
I went and got Mystical. I went and got CeeLo. I went and got Young Buck.
Yep.
I had the first one I had Young Jeezy.
Twister.
Twister. I went and got the people who
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross was signed to us.
I know.
But I got the people who I could vision me doing a song with. That's what I did first. And then every beat, when I came up with inspiration for that song, I gave everybody on the label, including friends that hung out with us that wasn't signed, I gave everybody the opportunity to give me a hot 16. And believe it or not, I got like 100 records that I never put out because we were so strict that we sat at the table, all 50 of us, and if you didn't get at least 40 votes, that verse didn't go. If the song didn't get at least 30 votes, that song is foul 13. And CO will tell you. That's how, remember, CO is the one that did You Suckin' Fucking Me. That's me and him on this record.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It was like, we did process of elimination. We gave everybody ample opportunity. So those people that feel like, somebody made a comment. I put this girl on Nicki Natural. Oh, you know, so what happened was I went to the Humane Society and I was wanted to adopt a pet, and I see this little mangy little dog. It was a little mangy little girl dog, and I was like, oh, I want to take her home. I can fix her up, and I put Bert oil on her, and I shook her back. I bathed her up and brushed her teeth and washed her pussy good. And I put her on the show, and she tried to disrespect Joy and Trina. And I said, listen, I bring you on Love and Hip Hop. Introduce your career, your life.
Yeah.
Do not say nothing about Joy and Trina, because no matter what we go through, I'm gonna always protect those two.
Yeah.
And she went against me. So now she gets on the podcast and said, Trick and Trina, the biggest crab. They never had nobody in Miami do nothing. And now you come on here and you solidify, you my best friend. This is my best friend right here. This is my motherfucking best friend.
Clip that out for me, please. You have no idea how much that means to me. I'm telling you, that you got that feeling is me and my wife's song. So like, I had to find out if she was cool, right? So I said, hey, listen, you gotta like good comedy and you gotta like good music if you're gonna be in my life. So I played David Tell's Skanks for the Memories. We listened to that, she loved it. I said, I wanna introduce you to a guy from Florida, Trick Daddy, and this song tells you how I feel about you. And I put in, got that feeling, right? And sucking fucking bitch no more. Bitch sign me up before you line me up. She's a joking and the bitch ain't joking. And I played that for my wife and my wife goes, if that's how you feel about me, I love you. And I'm telling you, to this day, I'm gonna FaceTime my wife right now, she'll freak out because she's like, all I listened to was, I swear to God, first time I ever smacked my wife on the ass, it was Scarface, and the first time I told her I love you, it was you. So like, I never smacked a chick on the ass, and we were listening to Scarface, and I just got the feeling. I was like, fuck it.
Let's pray over the food.
Let's pray, man.
Yeah, you lead in prayer.
Me?
Dear Lord.
Oh God, I was like, oh, fuck.
Dear Lord, we'd like to say thank you for today. We'd like to say thank you for this guy for preparing this gracious meal for us. We'd like to say thank you, Bert, for coming and blessing us on the show today. And amen.
Amen.
Hey God,
Hey, you know
thanks
what?
for making this happen.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Tell your wife, man, I appreciate her for marrying you. Because I think she gave you a sense of humor. She made it more official. And I know a lot of people ask you, how you know it was time? How do you know, okay, I'm gonna be a comedian, I got this, I don't give a damn who don't like it. At what point did you get that feeling?
So you played sports growing up, like I did. Remember?
Of course.
And you grew up in Miami, so you saw real talent come through.
Right.
And so I played with a guy who played professional baseball. And I remember saying to my dad, how come no one talks about me playing baseball the way they do Brad? Radke played for the Twins. And my dad just very candidly said, buddy, you don't have that talent that he has. He's just, it's undeniable. When you watch him play,
it's natural.
It's natural. And he goes, what you gotta do in life is find your thing the way Brad found baseball. And so the very first time I did stand up, I'd been written up in Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country. I was schooled in Tallahassee. And I went up, I tried stand up for the first time. I did 30 minutes with no script, nothing. At the end of a show, following 4 headliners. and it just was natural. I didn't have to prepare. I could talk and people laughed. It was probably the closest to my natural voice today that I have. And I called my dad immediately when I got home. This was before cell phones. I called him on a landline and I said, Dad, I found my thing. And my dad's like, he's a regular dude, but he goes, well, if that's it, I gotta support you. So figure out what you want to do. I moved to New York, started doing stand-up, and then 25 years later.
New York ain't no softer than Miami when it comes to.
I was wearing flip-flops on stage.
The first time we performed in New York, he was on stage with me. We was at the tunnel. I heard stories about. I never heard a story about a New York. I don't know the name of another club in New York except the 4040 Club, and I found out that club 10 years later.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, they booked you at the tunnel. I was like, oh hell no. I was like, hey, that's the one where they did the Rock Rollers video, and that's the one people get stabbed up at.
Yeah.
I've been to Jersey to the Peppermint Lounge, and I knew they was really on there, but I was like, New York, and I'm from Miami. I'm like, fuck it, come on. And we got on stage and murdered that bitch. And I say, we done made it now.
I moved to New York right when The Box was big. The Box was the big.
Oh yeah, the TV show.
Like Fat Joe, Cameron, Dipset, all them got on. My favorite memory, I think because I'm from Florida, my favorite memory of New York, and I think I got to tell Cameron this, was walking the streets and hearing people play Oh Boy in the cars and going like, wow, I'm in a different place. This is different hip hop.
Right.
I think when I moved to New York, I figured out Wu-Tang. Like I didn't really get them.
Me neither.
I didn't get them. Like I was like.
Me neither. But
I know
Cam is one of my. Cam is crazy, man. You got a lot of weird ways. Cam, Purple Haze album. That's my favorite,
bro. So I've measured myself. When I met you, I was like, I'm not gonna geek out, but I freak out. Like I freak out.
Right.
And man, poor Cam got the heavy of it. Him and Jim Jones got crazy white boy on them. Like I was like Jim Jones. Do you remember when you got shot? And he's like, oh yeah. Dude, Snoop's got it worse than anyone. Wow. I did a TV show with Snoop, and I started singing his songs back to him, and he's like, that's not what I say. I was like, you don't say I drop rhymes like potatoes? And he was like, why the fuck would I say that? I was like, well, that's what white people hear.
So you went to FSU?
For State.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was texting him with Warren Sapp yesterday.
But look, I'm looking forward to playing y'all this year. The reason being, it was gonna be a good game until Cristobal fumbled that ball last week.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna beat y'all ass. I want to say I love you. I appreciate you coming to the show, man.
Thank you.
Anything you promote, anything you doing, man, anytime you're in the area, man, call us up, man. We're gonna come there and support you.
The same comes to me. I have a cooking show also.
Okay.
Out in LA. I'd love to fly you out and put you up and have you on my cooking show. Because let me tell you something. And if you know food, you know food. The test of, like, if you're dating a chick right now, have her cook you a pork chop. If your chick can cook a pork chop that is as tender as this, that's the key to a good cook right there. This pork chop is soft, tender, the way sex should be. It should feel good in your mouth, but when it gets hard on the outside, you need it to be a little rough. You want to feel the lips, but you also want to feel the inside.
Hey, remember, if you're ever in the Miami area, check it out at Sunday's Eatery, where we open 6 days a week except for Tuesday. Every day except for Tuesday. Sunday season on sale at Sundays.com. And this is my honorary president of the Eat a Booty gang.
I do eat ass too.
Oh my God.
I've been eating ass before it was popular.
Me too, and I was talking about it. Y'all ain't know what I was talking about. Hey, if you ain't subscribe now. Remember, bitch, I got my pops. Ha ha!
Yeah.